Hi, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Wednesdays with Wendy. My name is Wendy Garvin Mayo. I am a nurse practitioner and I am the stress solution strategist. And what that means is I am passionate about empowering individuals to develop and adopt stress management solutions that ultimately enhance their overall health and wellness. So that is my passion. That is who I am. I want to welcome all of our new members to the community. We had quite a bit of individuals who joined us. So happy that you are here. So excited to get to know you individually and really hear your story. Because we have excuse me, I have a little coughing thing going on, so I have some water here tonight. But so glad you're here. Because we have new members, I just want to do an overview of all the resources that we have in this community. So first and foremost, the unit section has a repository of videos and different resources for community members. If you also go to the website, you'll see additional resources such as if you want health coaching, we offer that to you. If you want grief counseling, we have that for you. If you're into essential oils, we can definitely provide you with essential oils if you need that. We have a yoga instructor we work with. So if you want to do some yoga, get some movement or flexibility, which is also really good for stress, we offer that. You may have seen in the group, we have partnered with two, I would say, companies or individuals, and Caring for the Caregiver, which are two opportunities for cancer caregivers to join cancer caregiver support groups. So these groups are led by wonderful individuals for cancer caregivers to come together and just really talk and support each other. And because we partner with those two those two entities, every week there's an opportunity to join a cancer caregiver support group. So ANCAN meets the first and third Tuesday of each month, and Caring for the Caregiver, they meet the second Tuesday of each month and the fourth Wednesday. So they had a meeting today. So I posted that in the community. You will also, I will also put those into events. So you'll get reminders if you want to attend those. But a great way to come together and meet other cancer caregivers. So those are two resources we have. And we also have a resource for you to attend a grief support group. So those left behind, you've probably seen those events in the in the group. So those left behind are for individuals who have lost their loved one due to cancer. So it's a grief support group. And that is also led by the same moderator, Joni Sturgill, who moderates the Caring for the Caregiver support group. So that group meets monthly. So those events are in the community. So if you were interested in joining that, you can just go and, we have, because you're part of the community, there are links that are right in the invitation. So you don't have to register or anything. You can just click the link and you're in the meeting. So that is something that we got access to, which I'm very happy about that. All right. So tonight we are going to continue our segment of talking about the 10 foundational elements of intentional transformation, how to become your best self. And this is based on a book by Max Story. We went over 4 foundational elements. We went over thought, we went over choice, vision, hope. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how hope is the foundation of sacrifice, which I think is a very interesting topic. So this book by Max Story was really written for leaders, right? So individuals who lead people, so more like career type individuals. I have corporate experience as well. And, in the corporate world, and I've said this many times, we spend a lot of time putting together our goals and our objectives, right, for our jobs and our careers, what we want to do. So I believe we need to do the same thing for ourselves, for our self-care, our lives. We have to put time and effort into what we want to do. Are we doing what we want to do? Are we aligned with our goals? Are we aligned with our vision for ourselves? And, have those quarterly meetings with ourselves and or our family to see if we need to adjust anything. So I love taking those concepts from, the corporate world or leaders and really applying them to what we're doing here, really empowering each other to be our best self, right? And I'm a big advocate of really stress management, because things that show up in our lives that don't align or feel right, it's all stress, right? And stress is a personal phenomenon that we live, and we may not be able to identify it, but anything that's out of alignment in my mind is stress. So I'm really passionate about helping individuals just really align, right? And just live their best life. Because when we're stressed, you can't really do anything. It's paralyzing, we're unproductive. So we don't want stress in our life. So with that said, let's get started. So with hope, I think it's important to really define what hope is. It's a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. So hope to me, it's like an intrinsic phenomenon, right? So it's happening internally, and it's like you create an expectation for the future, right? So it's like your vision. Last week we had Kurt on here who was talking about the importance of having goals, right? As you're a caregiver, you want to have goals in place so you have something to look forward to, right? So in my mind, that goal or that vision or that thing gives you hope, right? And sacrifice can be the price you pay for hope, right? So sacrifice is the act of giving up something that you want, especially in order to do something or help someone else. So you're really sacrificing something you want to, so you're kind of giving up something, right? Like I really want to do this, but I'm going to give that up for now. So sacrifice can be a price you pay for hope. Those who are watching, do you have hope? Let me know in the chat. Do you have hope? Are you currently sacrificing something? Let me know in the chat if you are sacrificing something or if you have hope. And when there is hope for the future, right? It feels probably a little better to sacrifice because you're looking forward. You're looking forward to something, right? So you have something to look forward to. So, excuse me, it's okay to sacrifice now, currently present, because I have this vision or I have this hope, something to look forward to, this goal. I was reading an article the other day and it listed 8 things that successful people sacrifice for their career. And it made me think of, well, caregivers do the same thing. And I have to tell you that I think twice this week, I was talking to people about you all, caregivers and what I do and how I'm a caregiver advocate for cancer caregivers. And, they're like, well, why don't you do that for everyone? And I was like, well, caregivers are people. They're people. So, like this list of successful people, caregivers are successful people. So the same stressors and things that show up in other people's lives show up in caregivers' lives, because they're individuals, right, who whose life was shifted by a cancer diagnosis, by their loved one being, having cancer. So all these things about stress and all that impact caregivers. So I had to communicate that to 2 people this week. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hope and sacrifice for sure. Yes, thank you for sharing. I can't see your name, but thank you for being here with me and sharing that in the comments. So the 8 things people sacrifice for success. And, this can apply to caregivers. So time, we sacrifice time, and we know we can't get time back. So it's really important that we are utilizing our time appropriately. Another thing we sacrifice is stability. So sometimes you may say it's okay to, be a little unstable for now. And that can be stability in finances or just stability in life, where you're, okay, I'm going to sacrifice this for now. Next, your personal life. And as caregivers, I know this speaks to a lot of people, really sacrificing your personal life, maybe for your loved one who has cancer. Another thing we sacrifice is sleep, right? So we sacrifice sleep. We could always sleep later, which not always true. And one thing I want to say about this list, some of these things we sacrifice, once they're out of whack, it's not very easy to realign them, right? So I think about your sleep, and the next one is health. Sometimes if you sacrifice your health, it's not that easy to go back and, or if you have an opportunity to go back and really, be healthy. It can have long-term effects on who you are, right? The next one is quiet time. We sacrifice quiet time, which is so essential. I'm a big advocate for time and space, because I believe when you give yourself time and space, you're able to process what's going on in your life. Whether you're a caregiver or you're not a caregiver, I think that time alone is essential. And number 7 is sanity. So you never want to intentionally, right, sacrifice your sanity, right, because that can be problematic in so many ways. And we sacrifice immediate desires, for whatever reason, and that can be that one was very interesting. Immediate desires. And it made me think of, when we're sacrificing, I think it's important that we are aligned with the sacrifice and really sacrificing without resentment. Because sometimes we sacrifice and we feel like we're forced to sacrifice, right? And depending on the situation, you may feel forced, but it's really how we're looking at it, how we are looking at what we're sacrificing or looking at the situation. And it makes me think of when I talk about stress, like external stressors, things that are going on that we can't really control. I always say we have some control over it, because it's really how we react to it or our response to it. I think about sacrifice in the same way. So, sometimes we don't have control over, things that we have to sacrifice, but how are we living in that? How are we sitting in that? And that's going to be really important for our stress, right? And really living our vision and being aligned with, our purpose in life, right? Because we don't have control over everything, right? So I'm a true believer that, our reality, our thoughts and our beliefs is really our reality. And depending on, where we are in life, what we're doing, what's going on in our lives, and that's why that time and space is important. You really sit with yourself and process what's happening, so we can create our own realities, right? So we never want, and I hate saying never, but we don't want to live with resentment or anger. How do we shift that? And not saying it'll never happen, not saying you'll never be angry, you'll never resent, everything is always happy-go-lucky. Not that. But when we're living in the negative, it really impacts who we are and how we show up in the world. So I think it's really in our control to really figure out how we want to show up in the world. How are we going to move through the world? How are we going to move in certain situations? How are we going to let certain situations impact us or not impact us, right? So it's important to, I like to use the example of stop, right? So the whole stop, literally stop, slow down, really think about what's going on. And sometimes people don't like to stop and think, because they say, oh, I can't do that because I won't get back up, or, I'll fall too far in the hole. So some people don't give themselves the time to think, but that thinking is really important, to think about what you need. Because if you want to be aligned and show up in the world in a certain way, maybe you need to think about, resources you need. Maybe you need to talk to someone. Maybe you need to reach out. Maybe you need to be a part of a community. What do you need What do you need to help alleviate whatever it is that you're stressing about or that isn't really aligning with you? What do you need? And the O is for options. What are your options? Right now, we have in the group limiting beliefs on asking for help. So asking for help can be very difficult, right? But maybe asking for help is what you need, and that's an option. Maybe there's someone there who's willing to, provide you a hand or help you out in what you're doing. And then the P is for proceed. After you have your option, and you pick your option, you go with it and you proceed or you plan depending on what you need. So that's what I have tonight for you. And I think my real take home here is hope is important. And I hope everyone has some sort of vision for themselves, right? Whether, times are hard or times are good, have some sort of vision for yourself. And really trying to see the positive in every situation, and just remember what your purpose is in life and try to live within that. And not that it's easy, but that's why you're part of this community, so we can help inspire you and lift you up and provide you with what you need. That was one of the motivations for developing this community, really to just help people align and just, be okay. And with this pandemic, it doesn't make things easier because, many people, even, myself, we're isolated. We're in the house, we're quarantined. I know many of you, because I talk to many of you one-on-one, are, it's hard because you're home with your loved one. It's not that easy taking care. You're the primary caregiver. Not that easy. So anything we can do to help, please let us know in the community. If you need something, please reach out. We are here. You can reach out to me personally, or you can, put something in the in the message thread in the community. And we have great community members here who will respond, or we can tag someone who can relate or shed some light on what you're asking. So with that, that's all I have tonight. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you have any comments, put them in the comment section. I'll come back and I'll look at them if you're watching the replay. And that is all I have. So have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to talking to each and every one of you who joined the group, and even my old members. So with that, have a good night, and I'll see you next week. Bye.